Hello, I'm in Felixstowe on the Suffolk coast, where the sea meets the shore and where nearly half of Britain's entire container shipping trade arrives. That's right, 48% of the UK's container traffic comes through this single port, which, if you think about it, is a terrifying amount of eggs in one shipping container-shaped basket. It's easy to think of a port as, well, just a big car park for ships, but ports like this are the beating heart of Britain's economy, from bananas to car parts, from phone cases to flat-pack furniture. If it comes from overseas, there's almost a 50-50 chance that it's been through here. The port of Felixstowe has been in action since 1875. Back then, Britain was still recovering from the financial hangover of the Crimean War. Queen Victoria was on the throne and the Industrial Revolution was thundering along. Felixstowe was founded as a rail-connected dock to serve East Anglia's agricultural exports: barley, wheat, timber. The kind of stuff you'd expect in 19th century trade. And it's fair to say, nobody back then was thinking about 400-metre-long ships called things like Ever Golden, because ships like that just didn't exist back then. Let's put this into perspective. The Ever Acre, one of the largest ships ever to dock here, is over 400 metres long. That's longer than 4 football pitches, end to end, and it can carry more than 23,000 shipping containers. That's over 230,000 tonnes of cargo, or, if you'd prefer, the approximate weight of 57,500 adult African elephants. Which is, I'll be honest, not how they measure shipping capacity, but it's more fun than metric tons. But why Felixstowe? Why not London or Southampton or some remote island fortress of doom? The answer: geography. Felixstowe sits right by the deep water channel of the North Sea. That means the biggest ships can sail almost straight in, even when they're fully loaded. And it's close to Europe's major shipping lanes, so it's cheaper, faster and more convenient. These cranes behind me, they're called ship-to-shore gantry cranes, and some of them can lift more than 100 tonnes in a single go. That's the weight of 50 London black cabs. And they can reach over ships that are 24 containers wide, because yes, container ships are so big now. We measure their width in containers. And by the way, a standard container is 20 feet long. That's why the unit of measure for ship capacity is called TEU, 20-foot equivalent unit. Containers revolutionised shipping. Before the 1950s, cargo was loaded and unloaded piece by piece, crates, barrels and sacks, and it took days, sometimes even weeks, to unload a ship. But then came along Malcolm McLean, an American trucking entrepreneur who was, in the 1950s, had a brilliant idea. Why not pack everything into big metal boxes that can go seamlessly from ship to train to lorry? The idea shrank global shipping costs by as much as 90% because it slashed loading times, reduced theft and made global trade what it is today. And that's how Felixstowe became Britain's gateway to the world. Today, ships arrive here from ports like Singapore, Rotterdam, Shanghai and Dubai. Goods come off the ships, straight onto trains or trucks, and then disappear inland to warehouses and distribution centres all over the UK. In fact, Felixstowe handles over 40 freight trains every single day. Now that might not seem like a lot, until you realise that each train can be up to 775 metres long and carry the equivalent of around 70 lorry loads. That's also a lot fewer trucks clogging up the A14. And it's loud here. Between the ship engines, the cranes, the trucks and the wind coming off the North Sea, it's enough to blow your hat off. Of course, it's not all smooth sailing. Ports like Felixstowe face huge challenges. Bigger ships mean fewer calls but more cargo per visit, creating congestion. Brexit introduced extra custom paperwork and checks, and labour disputes and strikes can ripple out through supply chains. And automation threatens traditional jobs because container terminals are increasingly run by remote control or AI. But the port of Felixstowe has weathered storms before, from 2 world wars through containerisation to today's global supply chain chaos. During World War II, the port was a key military hub. The surrounding area bristled with anti-aircraft guns and minefields. The beaches were littered with tank traps and barbed wire, just in case of invasion. Yet after the war, Felixstowe reinvented itself, transforming from a modest Victorian dock into a high-tech container port. Today, nearly 4 million TEUs pass through here every year. That's everything from electronics, cars, clothing, food, you name it. The economy might be digital, but all that stuff still has to arrive physically, and half of it comes through here. So, next time you're opening a parcel from overseas or tucking into a banana from Ecuador, spare a thought for Felixstowe, the unsung hero of Britain's supply chain. It's here that the global economy arrives, one container at a time. This has been Sky Explores. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and join us again soon.